Yeah.
It's not too late. Move back.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy.
You are listening to the #1 sports talk show on the planet. At least that's what Ryan Lochte told me. So I don't know if it's true. It might be true. There might be some truth in there. I'm not really sure. But welcome to the Inland Sports Show. I'm Pep Fernandez. You can listen to us on Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM, or live and amplified around the world on the Inland Sports Channel. We've got a big show. It's our championship edition of the Inland Sports Show because we got the high school football season now on the horizon. Next week, next Friday night, is week 0 of the season. So we're going to kind of celebrate last year's CIF champions and state champions because we're talking Citrus Hill football. Notre Dame will be joining us in the second segment. And in the third segment, we'll catch up with Nate Meadors, former San Gorgonio high school star, who is now a defensive back at UCLA. We caught up with him at Camp Coyote at Cal State San Bernardino, so we'll hear from Nate Meadors as well. So we got a big show. We're going to get you ready for the high school football season. And I think Jeff Gorham's going to check in as well and talk about, he went to the, I think you know this too, he went to the Heritage Murrieta Valley Norco scrimmage. Three really good teams, right?
At Heritage.
At Heritage, yeah. So we'll talk to Jeff Gorham about what he thought he made his Inland Sports high school football debut last night.
Video debut.
Video debut. So we're going to let him break it down and see what he's got. So it's all brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona. AdrenalineAthletic.com is the website. We appreciate their support. Go check out Leonard Russell and his team. Check out their travel ball programs, training sessions. They do a little bit of everything. RE/MAX Advantage. Nobody sells more real estate. Nobody. 909-307-5665 is the phone number. Spoiled, quick, quality oil change right here in Riverside. Bill Navigado and his team are the very best. It's in the name. Get your car spoiled. It's hot out there. You definitely don't want to break down the side of the road with these triple digits. So go to Spoiled. Make sure your car is going right. Ken's Sport. Coming off that state championship, of course, the Inland Division Championship as well. And Coach Zomalt's in the house. He brought some of his guys. And, Coach, how much do you leave last year's season in the rearview mirror? Are we so close to this year's season that you're like, guys, forget about it. This is a new season, new players. I mean, forget what happened last year.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's what we'd like to do. But it's tough because it was such a special season and unique circumstance. And we ended up doing something that we'd never done before, and so everywhere I go, people ask about, the state championship, and so I'm glad, we finally get to week 0, and hopefully we can focus on this current season.
Do you embrace those, the chatter about the state title? Do you embrace that, or is it kind of like, guys, that it's kind of unfair expectations? It was a magical season. We did all the right things, but this is a new team. I mean, or do you try to keep riding that momentum?
No, I mean, obviously, I don't know, maybe an old saying, they say, first you win and then you get good. And so we've had some success, and I think that has all been kind of connected from what Doug Du Bois did early on, and I think all of those seasons and special moments kind of led to last year, and so we want to try to build on that.
Hey, Coach, who did you bring in studio with us today?
I got Khalil Lacey, middle linebacker, running back for us. DJ Bacon plays O-line and D-line, and Tessie McAley plays both ways, O-line and D-line, and a cornerback, Mateo Wade.
You gonna put Tessie at running back a little bit, maybe? Yeah, a little bit more.
I mean, he can do it. He can do it. He can do just about anything on the football field.
You guys, there must be a sense of pride, right, when you have Citrus Hill on your jersey. Maybe you're wearing your jacket or a shirt around town. It says Citrus Hill football. So talk about what it means to represent the program after having such a great season and really elevated you guys to, when we talk IE football, we're talking Centennial, we're talking Vista Murrieta, we're talking Citrus Hill. So, I mean, what is it like now being part of the Citrus Hill program? And everyone knows Citrus Hill football, so anyone can just jump in there. I apologize, I'm loud, so you got to get nice and close to the mic and just go for it.
I mean, playing for Coach Zomal is a wonderful opportunity. He's a great coach. Everybody knows him. It's just
Everybody knows Coach Z, yeah?
Yeah, playing for this program, different expectations. This is great.
So going into this year, do you guys feel like, you know what, we did it last year, why not again? Why not us, right? Coach Zolt's like, I'm predicting 16-0 right now. Here we go.
Yeah, we'd like to.
Will you shave your head, Pep?
Like Coach Zolt. I don't know. Coach Zolt has a nice looking head. I don't know. I have an ugly head, so that's the problem.
Last year he called out Notre Dame and said if they went 10-0, he'd shave an ND logo on the back of his head. Guess what he had to do last year?
He did it?
I did it.
That's crazy.
They had a pep rally, no pun intended, at the school, and I did it.
That's crazy.
But I've got an ugly head, so I couldn't pull off what he's doing. So.
Nope.
But
it gets, obviously everybody wants to win as many games as they can and hopefully win a championship, but we've got a long way to go. We graduated a lot of good players, and we have a lot of new guys. I think yesterday in our scrimmage, coming into it, we knew we didn't have that many returning starters. I mean, DJ started at O-line at the end of the season. I was kind of counting him as an offensive guy, but we only had 2 returning starters out there yesterday in the scrimmage. So there's 9 new guys on offense, and so they will have to go through the process, and we'll see how it plays out.
Let me ask the guys, what did you guys do well in the scrimmage against San Gorgonio last night? You guys obviously probably came away and thought, you know what, we did that pretty well. I feel good about this team.
We had a lot of good opportunities. I think we had, and also our offense, they performed really well. I thought they did really good, and our defense, they actually stepped it up. I didn't know they had that. Yeah, they really had.
Had it in them?
Yeah.
Well, who's on defense here? You guys had it in you, right? I mean, what did you guys do defensively against San Gorgonio that worked pretty well?
Well, first we stopped the run pretty well. We got a lot of people to the ball. We were actually executing on defense, and that's what our D's made it for, is to stop the run. So yeah.
Coach, let me ask you. So last year we talked a lot about the fact that run heavy, your offense was an understatement, I guess. But this year, I mean, we've had Citrus Hill teams in the past that, I mean, you let it fly and the receivers are real involved.
That's where the Bomb Squad shirt was born.
The Bomb Squad, yeah.
When we had Jacoby and Justin and all those long guys that, that could air it out, Brett Hollingsworth and that crew. And so this is one of my favorite T-shirts, and it's ironic now, because we didn't need to throw the ball that often last year towards the end. Had a lot of success running it, and we tried to ride that wave, and we had to get some breaks to continue to win like that, but it worked for us, and so hopefully we can incorporate the forward pass in our offense.
We had a couple studs in your backfield, Dumar Fisher, and Devin Floyd. I mean,
we did, and we got some guys this year, man. We've been unbelievably fortunate with the amount of quality running backs that we've had in the 10 or 11 years we've been around, from Deontay Cooper to Davian Payne, P.J. Walker, the dude, Dumar, and now Khalil, and we have another John Jefferson and Michael Tobin are all touching the ball. And it's just been fortunate. It's just been like a lucky kind of deal that our strength has been running backs from day one, and it's worked for us.
So Khalil's going to tote the rock for you this season, and
He has to.
He has to. So Khalil, are you telling Coach, we don't have to throw. I love this ground game. We can keep doing that. That's perfectly fine.
Whatever he wants to do, we just got to execute. Win games.
Coach, let me ask you, against San Gorgonio last night, obviously, I've seen San G. They've got a lot of talent. That's a good team. How did you guys look last night?
You know what? It felt like a preseason, scrimmage, first time going live, and it's always a little weird. Like the first time after our offensive series, we go 10 plays and then you switch sides because it's not like an actual game with special teams and all that. And I just automatically, just out of reflex, told the offense to get a break. And then, but because that's what we do in practice. Yeah. But it's like, no, hustle off. But it's just a little bit different. But they got some kids, they got talent. Coach Geringer does a great job, and they're really skilled. And it was kind of where we both kind of filling each other out and kept it real vanilla. Kids ran around and hit, and so I think he came away from it kind of like we are, like not bad, but we have a ways to go.
We're talking with the Citrus Hill football team here on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. Plus, we're live and amplified around the world on the Inland Sports Channel. Okay, guys, here's your non-league. So you open up with Barstow, then Santiago, El Camino, the Rancho Verde High School and Rancho Cucamonga. That's a pretty tough non-league schedule.
Yes, sir.
And you guys finished really strong in that non-league going into Mountain Pass League play with Rancho Verde and then Rancho Cucamonga. So, Coach, I think by the end of non-league, you'll kind of know what you got, right, with these guys. I know it's a new team and, you know, the stuff in last year's in the past, but you'll know what you got after about 5 games.
Yeah, and you also kind of know what you don't have, you know, and so that was what happened for us halfway through the season. It felt, you know, a little too difficult to be consistent with our passing game, and over on bye week we completely changed our offense, and you know, we didn't know, we hoped that it would you know, it would work, and it did. So you can learn, you know, some good things, and also kind of what you're lacking if you challenge yourself with a non-league schedule.
So you guys, do you feel like, you know what, this is our opportunity to have an increased role? I mean, some of you guys already had playing time, but an increased role to help this team continue on that path. You know, the Inland Division title was great. The state championship was great. There's no reason why you guys can't be competitive in this new Division II, which we'll talk about in a second. So do you guys feel like this is an opportunity to have that increased role and be one of these leaders on this year's team?
Yeah, I mean, we always want to step up, show what we can do. I mean, we got a lot to live up from last year because state championships, that's a lot, man. But, yeah, we're going to go out, compete, have fun, you know our checks, and we're going to get it in.
Do you guys have, like, the state championship shirts or maybe a ring? I mean, do you guys keep them out, or do you like, okay, it's time to put those away? It's a new season.
Yeah, well, I just feel that we just want to, well, yeah, we have it out sometimes. But,
Yeah.
You know.
You wear it around town. Oh, this old thing? Just a state title ring.
I mean, because you get used to winning, but we don't want to feel like that. We want to, like, stay on top of things, but you don't want to get too comfortable because, you know, we're known for, like, winning. But, really, we just want to stay on track and stay focused because we always want to go out with a bang your senior year.
Tessie, let me ask you, do you feel like a vocal leader, lead by example? I mean, how would you kind of describe your role with this team? Obviously, you know, you've had some playing time and you were part of those, you know, those great wins last year. I mean, how do you kind of see your role in fitting into this year's squad?
Well, you know, we got a pretty young squad this year, so you know, it's just at practice, you know, we just gotta get down and, you know, know what to do, know our checks, and yeah, we just gotta do what we're coached, and I think we'll be fine this year.
All right, guys, here's Division II, this brave new world of these playoff divisions. So I think we're all still kind of getting used to it and how this is all going to kind of play out in the end. But, excuse me, in Division II, at least in terms of Inland Empire schools, of course you guys, Norco's in there, Redlands East Valley, Great Oak, Heritage, and Murrieta Valley. Coach, when I look at that, I mean, those are some really good teams. I mean, that's a tough division.
Yeah, and it, you know, it will change the dynamic for us. In the sense that, like, every team that you name would probably most likely be a finalist in our old division.
Yeah. And
probably a champ, you know, in our old division. And so you're looking at playing one of those teams maybe in the first round, and definitely in the second round, you know. So we have to, you know, we can't come in with the kind of, you know, kind of nonchalant approach of, like, the first round is just to kind of get our feet wet in the playoffs and you know, and then we'll see how it goes once we get to the semis and the finals. Like, it could be one and done, and that's something that for us is different and new and a great, you know, opportunity and a challenge to do something that we've never done. Which, with all the success that we've had, it's always exciting to reach, you know, a new level.
Yeah, I remember Matt Logan had said on our show before that I think it was the first Pac-5 title they won. He felt like it was 4 straight CIF championship games in a row to get to that point. He's like, every single game, it was a great team and they were battles. I feel like with these new playoff divisions, regardless of the division, especially Division II, like you said, even those first round games are going to be tough matchups.
It'll be tough for sure. And so hopefully our kids understand, you know, that if I what I'm trying to tell them and they believe it and embrace that we got to prepare for, you know, to play a really tough team, and I don't want to get too far ahead. I mean, we have an entire season to play, and our non-league, as you mentioned, is really tough, and so we've got work to do. But that's, you know, what I enjoy about it. It's the process.
My guys on defense, you miss Coach Greg Zomont? You guys miss him yet?
They don't miss him yelled at.
Do you miss him, Coach?
Of course, he's my brother. You
Yeah.
know? And so there's just a different kind of, you know, dynamic when it's somebody who sees the world exactly how you see it, you know. And so it is different. But, you know, I'm excited for, you know, Coach Randall, our offensive coordinator, has been with us for a couple of years, and he's been around, you know, forever. He actually coached me in high school. So so he knows the game, and he knows me. And he knows kind of, you know, what makes me tick and what sets me off. And so it's a great, it provides a great balance for me to, you know, kind of keep me on track.
So since you've been at Citrus Hill, even as an assistant, like Greg's always been around, right?
He's been around from day one.
Yeah.
Right? We have this weird, like, we've worked together. We went to college together. We've been together forever. So this is the first time we've ever, like, been apart. So separation anxiety kicking in.
Well, your mom's a great source,
Yes.
and I saw her at the Paloma Valley passing tournament, and we were talking on the sideline, and she had said that I forget what school you had actually committed to, or
UCLA.
was it UCLA? Okay, and it was like at the last moment, you're like, yeah, I got to go to Cal.
You know what? It was crazy. I went on my visit to UCLA, and I enjoyed it, and it was great, and I was ready to commit, but I think I missed my meeting with Coach Donahue, or somehow I couldn't commit then, but I came to school Monday morning and told Coach Fogarty, you know, I loved it, I think I want to go there. And that night, Bruce Snyder, who was the head coach at Cal at the time, and Rob Marinelli, who was our D-line coach, and Phil Snow was our DB coach, all three of them flew down to my house that night. And they're trying to give me the hard sell, and I was just like, you know, I really liked it. You know, because Coach Fogarty said you need to call these coaches and tell them that you're committed, you know, whatever. Thank them for the process. So anyway, they all fly down. They're on my couch, kind of give me the hard sell, and my brother was great about it. He never pressured me.
He didn't? No?
This is your deal.
Yeah.
Like, whatever you want to do is fine by me. He spent my per diem that day when I went up to Cal. He got pissed and he bought some shoes. I never forgot about that. He sat in his room and played video games the whole time. He was supposed to treat me better than that. But anyway, so the head coach, Bruce Snyder, came down to it. He said, you can look at me, and I never, like 17 years old, you don't know about anything at that point.
Yeah.
And he looked at me and said, you can look at me and tell me that you never want to play another game with your brother. I never even thought about it. I was so wrapped up in myself and my own recruitment and whatever. And I was like, I really, like, yeah. I was like, he said, can we shake on it? And that was it.
That was it.
And
Done deal, right?
Cal, yeah. So
You don't have to.
it's a long story.
So he's at Orange Vista now as the head coach, and obviously they don't have varsity football yet.
No, they just have 9th and 10th graders, but he's got some kids and he's got some talent, and he'll coach them up. He's excited about it. I mean, he's been kind of not sure about whether he wanted to do his own, program, because there's a whole lot of other stuff.
Besides coaching, right? It's all the stuff away from coaching.
And I was like, man, are you sure you want to do this? Because like what you get to do, show up, coach, and leave, is perfect.
Yeah.
So, but he was kind of ready to challenge himself in a different way, and he will build that program up the right way.
All right, guys, we're running out of time. This is something I like to ask all of them, all the teams that come in, especially now that the season starts next week with week 0. Let's just go right to left, and what do you guys think you have to do this season to be successful, whether that means winning league, winning CIF, state, whatever, but what do you guys feel like you've got to do for the Citrus Hill team to have a good year?
I just think we just got to execute. Like Coach O said, this year in the playoffs, we could lose first round being the caliber of the teams this year. Like he always says, the separations and the preparation.
That's right.
Yeah, I just like to stay focused. Like, we have to be a team, more of a team, and we got to stay focused.
Tessie?
Yeah, like DJ was saying, we got to, play as a team, play as one, and we just basically got to do what we're coached, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, I feel we got to compete, execute, and know our checks. We right. Because I know when it comes to playoffs, we really got to be in that film room, studying, knowing our checks will be straight.
Listen to this guy, and you guys will be okay, all right? Coach Zilmont, we appreciate the time. You're one of our favorites. We appreciate you coming on the show, and best of luck next week as you kick it off.
I appreciate everything you guys do. I know I say that all the time, but I mean it. And you guys do a great job. These kids get, so much more love, than the typical high school kid in high school program. So
Then we're doing our job right.
Everybody in this area really appreciates what you guys do.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that as well. Best of luck against Barstow in week 0. When we come back, more high school football talk, and also a little bit later in the show, our one-on-one interview with Nate Meadors, starting cornerback for UCLA and out of San Gorgonio High School. That's coming up on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.
thank God, first of all. I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
Every sport that we offer here, the performance training is definitely specific to what they need. A lot of people actually come in here for the performance training, and also we have our travel ball program with our softball and baseball teams. Our performance training definitely to get quicker, stronger, faster.
Thank you.
Well, they're not even mine.
Whoever brought
Jeff brought them.
Jeff. Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM, plus live and amplified around the world on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Proudly brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training, Spoiled, quick quality oil change, Remax Advantage. Nobody sells more real estate than Remax, and Kins Sporting Goods, celebrating 40 years in the Inland Empire. Quite the accomplishment. Zeke, where's Notre Dame? You're the Notre Dame guy.
I don't know. We had it all set up. Derek was supposed to bring him, right?
Yeah.
You talked to him.
I
You booked
did.
it.
Yeah.
You booked it and you're asking me.
I'm just busting your chops.
Look, I'm just back from vacation. Don't do this to me.
You are the Notre Dame guy, so.
I am, and I've been out to their practice, and I have to tell you, they've gotten bigger.
Have they?
They have.
They look good. I've seen Aquinas. I think Aquinas is going to be much improved. They might be the sleeper in that league. And even Derek Johnson told me at the Paloma passing tournament, said, man, the Ambassador League's going to be good, right? And he's like, yeah, keep an eye on Aquinas. They could win the whole thing.
Well, you know, I did the preview on the Ambassador League. I have Notre Dame 1. I have Aquinas 2. I have...
You have Aquinas 2 ahead of Linfield?
Linfield 3.
Okay.
And then the rest of the mix. I think is ACA.
He's like 4th.
No, Ontario Christian, ACA, and Western.
It's top heavy. I think Notre Dame, Aquinas, and probably Linfield
will run away.
Yeah, will kind of separate themselves, but that Notre Dame Aquinas game could be a huge one going down the road. And Aquinas got all these kids from Germany, which is crazy.
Yeah, and one of them is just he's built.
Yeah, Jasper Fries, 6'7", 300 pounds.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot, and I have to give Brussig, Coach Brussig, a shout out. I was talking to a couple unnamed coaches, and they were talking about what a great job he's done over at Aquinas in the last year or two. I think it's second year.
Second year.
So last year and then into this year, and they're like, wow, they're really turning things around there. And Aquinas and Notre Dame have a rivalry, so it'll be fun to check that out, because not only do you have the Catholic high school rivalry, but you also have
Was it the Shield?
Yeah, Battle for the Shield.
Yeah.
But this will be battle for something more than the Shield.
Yeah. Yeah.
which most years it's not.
I'll have to look at the schedule. Do they meet in week 10
They actually open league.
against one another?
They open league, I believe, with Aquinas.
Interesting. So that, I mean, that's a huge league game right out of the gate for both teams. So.
Yeah, but going back to Citrus Hill real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty fantastic when you can get a coach to tell you a story like the one about Coach Schneider and Rob Marinelli coming down to give him that, hey,
Yeah.
we'd love to have you come, how do you like that, the guilt that they throw on him with the, you're not going to play with your brother?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I mean, it's not against the rules to say it, but oh my gosh, that's really striking a chord with Greg, or with, Eric.
Now, Greg and Eric's mom, we're a fan of hers on the show. We've ran into her several times, and she's a great source. And like most moms, she likes to spill the beans, about everything. So when I saw her at the Paloma passing tournament, we got talking about colleges, and then we got to talking about, she's like, well, the brothers, Eric and Greg, they love each other. They love being around each other. They played together. They've coached together. They went to college together. She's like, in fact, Greg, Eric was committed to UCLA, and at the last moment decided to go to Cal because, they love each other. They're good. Like she's really, hamming it up. They love each other. They're good brothers. They want to be around each other. They get along and all that stuff.
Wait a minute, but Greg went and took Eric's per diem and went and bought himself a pair of shoes.
Yeah, I didn't know that part. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's what a big brother does, right?
Yeah. They just mess with you, right? It never ends. I'm sure he's still
They're like, hey,
with him, right?
where's your per diem? Thanks, I'll be back. Just play some video games. I'll be right back.
That's how much it costs just to come into my dorm room, I guess, if you want to hang out with a good old big brother.
And he's supposed to be showing them around.
I know.
He's showing them around.
Buying shoes.
To the back of the woodshed.
So we've had a bunch of scrimmages, and last night we had the Citrus Hill versus San Gorgonio scrimmage. We'll have some of that video on the next Sports Weekly on IEMG. We also had, and if we're still waiting on Notre Dame or whatever's going on with him, let's bring Jeff Gorham on. I know he's out in the studio, he can hear me, because he was at a big scrimmage. And
he's sleeping. Hold on, we got to wake him up.
Seriously.
Jeff! Oh, there he is. There's Jeff.
He's even got notes. Only guy that brings notes into the show.
I've learned from Zink. He's always writing notes.
Always.
And I'm not very smart, so I have to write it.
He's always making himself out to be a dummy. He's the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah. He usually is. Well, we were talking about video because, we're heavy on the video, and, we do the Friday night show and stuff, and he's like, I think I can load these video clips on my computer and this and that, and then he texted me back. I think it was like the next day. He's like, my wife Carla's going to do it, and I wrote back, yeah, the brains of the operation. I know, I get it.
Yep.
I get it.
Exactly it. If I had an abacus, I could be fine.
If he had to draw the frames, he could do better.
Yeah, I'm an artist.
Sock puppets, right?
Yes, exactly.
So Citrus Hill's going to be one of those teams in Division II that we got to keep an eye on for the playoffs. Obviously, the pedigree speaks for itself. They've had a great run here. But also in Division II, you went to a scrimmage that, we're talking about the superpowers of Division II, Heritage, Norco, and Murrieta Valley. And I kind of had some preconceived notions going into that scrimmage, but you were actually there, Jeff. So I want to see if we kind of line up. So what are your big takeaways after seeing all three of those
Before
teams?
he gives his big takeaways, what was your thought of going in?
I thought that based on last year, Heritage was still going to be big, but they lost all their skill guys. Okay? And I thought Murrieta Valley is going to be loaded on offense. I don't know how many points they'll give up, but I know they're going to score a lot of points. Remember, like Santiago under Jeff Steinberg scored a lot of points, but it'd be a shootout. It'd be like 50-45 or something like that.
And George Wilson does a good job at defense too, but really,
they could have a good defense.
The offense is really what stirs the drink at that school.
Yeah. So between Bachmeyer and Bell and Spiker, the receivers, I was like, scoring points is not going to be a problem for Murrieta Valley.
Absolutely. So what did you find out?
And then Norco lost a lot too.
But Norco's got a 1,000-yard rusher who's only getting a year older and die.
Wasn't he a sophomore last year?
Yeah,
right?
I said he's a junior
this year.
Junior?
Isn't that what I said?
Yeah, you did. But they've lost a quarterback, so they got two new guys vying for a position that, going into the Big Eight's going to be real hard.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have some growing pains. But with, the entire offensive line coming back, a quick running back, they're going to be pretty good. And they had a pretty good defensive player there.
All right, so I don't want to spoil what you got to say. So with all that said, what are your takeaways?
Murrieta Valley, one of the most fun offensive teams I've seen in a while. You're watching guys book in wide receivers that are just amazing athletes, and a all CIF sophomore quarterback who I looked at, and I told Zink last night, I said, this guy looked like a pro out there. I mean, he had the prototypical body of a high school quarterback. arm strength, quickness, and can see the entire field. So it was kind of nice to see.
He's already college ready, isn't he?
He is.
He's a really accomplished kid.
And when you have
Plus two Division I receivers to throw the ball to.
Spiker, you said.
Yeah.
I mean,
Spiker.
he's got 11 offers already on the table, including Arizona, Washington, and Michigan. So he's a big school. And then the senior Maurice Bell, who's already committed to Colorado, who's just a stud. But he had 10 other offers from Pac-12 schools, so he can play. Now all he has to do is just pick a guy to throw to, and they're going to score a lot of points. So fun to watch. Didn't see a whole lot of defense because a lot of it was predicated on offense.
Yeah.
And
could they tackle the quarterback, or were the quarterback safe?
Quarterbacks were safe. But you did see the other two teams who were geared towards running backs, big offensive lines.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to tell defensively they'll be able to stop, the pass. So it was fun to watch. That's for sure.
But they finally have the pads on, so you can finally see what team. You know what I mean? That's when we talk passing league all summer long, and passing league's great, but no one's touching anybody other than to defend.
Yeah, exactly. But Heritage, the biggest offensive line I've seen.
They're big and they're
huge. Huge. I mean, they had a guy. The tackle, Scott Walther, I mean, he looked like he was my size. I'm 6'8", 285, 290, and I was looking at this guy shoulder to shoulder, and I was going, good golly, my son was like, that's the biggest man I've ever seen in my life. But they have a brand new quarterback, Devin Friedland. He's a transfer from Norco.
Yeah, I didn't know this. The Heritage quarterback's from Norco.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice to, see. I tried to see.
Friedland played in the Little Ducks, the Junior Ducks program.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
But I think anybody, I think I could gain 100 yards a game going
behind that line.
That offensive line was amazing. So it was cool. Norco the same, similar. The good running back, quicker than heck. You think he's great, Zink?
I do.
You do. He is good. He's about as big as my son, but he is quick as can be. But yes, they're going to have a chance to go 30 years in a row making the playoffs.
That's right.
Well, he's the youngest of the Dye brothers.
The running back.
Yeah. And they're all very talented.
Absolutely.
His brother just left off to college, and he was at Norco that last year. But great. I think Norco's going to. Do you think Norco will be improved over last year? Do you think they're going to lose a lot because they've now lost a very talented quarterback?
I don't think so, just because their entire line's coming back. So, like I said, if you can run, if you can walk, basically you're going to score some points.
And that's Norco football.
Yeah, and they got to transfer a linebacker from Gar High School who's just supposed to be a stud. A lot of Pac-12 schools looking at him. Randall Turner is I think he's 6'2", 245, just a beast.
Typical.
Typical Norco stuff.
When I saw Chuck Chastain, what they were throwing against, who was it? Kaiser and somebody else. But he was saying that, with Victor Viramontes gone now to Cal, that it kind of frees up the offense, and they're going to go back to their roots a little bit, like you said.
Yeah.
Big up front and just run the football all night long. Yeah, so with Victor, of course, they were going to air it out because he's a great quarterback with a big arm. But now they're going back to their roots, and that's Norco football and ground and pound.
Yeah, and you look around, and the Big Eight's going to have other teams that are going to get better. Roosevelt's going to get better. So it's going to put a little bit of pressure on Norco to make that 30 years in a row.
Well, in past couple years, Victor Viramontes has really carried the load, both running and passing the football. I mean, he takes 2 looks. He doesn't see the looks, he goes, And so, we've seen him in many games where he runs for as many yards as he throws for. But now it's more people are going to be involved in that offense. It'll probably make it a more dynamic offense.
But they still do have one good wide receiver, Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
So they still do have a passing threat. It's just, I think, like you said, they're going to pound it up the middle and throw it down your throat and try to get after it.
Yeah, I think it's control the clock.
Exactly.
Hold on to the ball.
There you go.
Win the game.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you guys this. Now we've talked Norco and Heritage and Marietta Valley, talked Citrus Hill. This is how the grade 8 and 4 more high school football rankings ended last season. This is how we ended. This was our last final rankings. I want to hear from you guys. Who's the biggest mover and shaker? Is there a team on this list that we're missing, or is there a team on this list that you think is going to fall or move up? Okay. So here's how we ended last year. Centennial, right? No brainer. Vista Marietta, no brainer. Norco 3, Citrus Hill 4, Heritage 5. Cajon 6, Rancho Verde 7, Notre Dame 8, and then our 4 more in no particular order: Moreno Valley, Summit, Marietta Valley, and Rev.
Well, if you're talking about that poll right there, Marietta Valley would be the biggest mover because they'll be in the top. I think they're a top 5 team.
top 5.
Top four. I guess in ours it'd be a top 4 team. But the point is that I think both Marietta Valley and Rancho Verde will have the biggest change in where they're at within our polling as far as, best teams in the area. Rancho Verde's coming back loaded again. They've got E.J. Stewart, who's great quarterback with a great arm. He's got a great receiver. He's got 15, 16 offers, and Thompson, he's one of the top 5 receivers in the area. And they've got a good enough running game. And Huerta's back again with the defense, and he's going to be able to shut people down. There's a couple key games that they have to get by, but from what I can see, Jeff Steinberg's got that team in shape.
Jeff?
Yeah, I agree. I think Marietta Valley is the team that's going to jump the most. Notre Dame? What do you keep them in the top 8?
No.
I think 4 more.
No, 4 more.
I agree.
And even at that, they have a very tough preseason. I mean, they're playing Tesoro. They have a light roster. They've only got 28 players right now on their varsity roster. So injuries are going to play a key into how their season goes. And they're playing teams like Tesoro and St. Paul, which will give them a good game and a good licking if they don't play it carefully.
Now, what are your thoughts on Summit? Because I think Summit had a couple hiccups early last year with some injuries, and they weren't at full strength. But everybody coming back, great running back.
They got the running back. They lost their quarterback and the receiver, but their running back, Stephen Carr, is probably the best.
Stephen Carr is the best, I think, running back in the area. But they did lose a very good receiver and very good quarterback. We'll see. I mean, I think they're going to do well in their playoff division.
Throw out a team that was not on the grade 8 or 4 more that you think that could sneak in there. Is there a team that we're missing? A Norta Vista, a Ramona, a Yucaipa.
I think that league.
I've got one in my head. I want to hear what you guys say.
The River Valley League, I think, boils down to 2 teams. And if you're going to say anybody's going to jump over Norta Vista, who's perennially been better than everybody, I think Ramona's going to be very good. So those 2 teams, Ramona and Norta Vista, I pick Ramona. I don't think they're in the top 8 yet. But
Norta Vista beats people up.
They do. They run the child abuse offense, the double wing, and Batdorf's going to run it down your throat and protect the ball. He might throw it 3 or 4 times a year. And but I think Heritage, Paloma Valley matchup is going to be.
Paloma, I think, is one that's going to sneak in there.
I think they have a shot, but we'll know next week. The Heritage plays Great Oak.
Yeah, Great Oak.
We'll see exactly how good Heritage is, I think. So there's a lot of things going to happen early in the season, I think, that will change this top 8.
You're probably. I think you're thinking Paloma Valley.
I was thinking Paloma.
I knew it. Yeah. See that? I can read his mind. I knew it. Actually, I don't. I'm not saying they're a good team, but I don't know if that's the team you should be looking at.
Athletically, they've improved quite.
Big turnaround. Well, they got a great quarterback. He's only a sophomore.
Yeah. Paloma Valley's going to be, I think, in good shape. A lot of people are high on Yucaipa. 10 starters back on offense.
I would agree with you.
The quarterback, everyone on the offensive line. They're big on the offensive line. I don't know. That could be another team.
I would agree with you, but they play in a tough league. Yeah. There's a lot of good teams in that league, and they play 7 games in that league. They only have 3 preseason games. So, right? It's 7. No,
they got 3 non-leagues, and then CBL play because it's a weird. They do
a
their
big
own
league.
Thing. Yeah. I was racking my brain. The Southwestern League. So outside of Vista Marietta and Marietta Valley, is it kind of wide open? I mean, Chaparral, Great Oak.
Chaparral, I think, will be improved.
Yeah.
I think Great Oak will be improved. Great Oak was a good team last year. They just play in a really tough league.
Yeah.
I think the one you should really look at in the Southwestern League is how does Vista Marietta adjust to, I know Dave Olson's been on that staff for a long time, but now he's running the show. I would imagine the offense is going to change a little bit. Things are going to be a little bit different. So how does that work out for Vista Marietta? They got tons of guys, but how does that work out for them, I mean, and the other interesting thing, kind of a little bit out of our area, but interesting, Upland has had like this exodus of kids leaving that school for other schools.
Yeah,
there's like at least a half dozen to a dozen kids that are playing other places that were at Upland last year, and I don't know why that is because there was no coaching change or anything like that, and they're a great program. So that's something, obviously, look at Upland and see how they handle the fact that they're going to get,
a couple
beat
kids
up.
went to Colony.
I think they're running back. Stud running back. Yeah.
And and the other thing is Rancho Cucamonga. I saw them last year in the playoffs against Vista Marietta. Vista Marietta came out with a win. It was an overtime win.
Yeah, it was wild, wasn't it? Yeah.
DeBot's 5 overtimes diving in for a touchdown.
Was that quarterfinal? I think it was like quarterfinal.
That was a quarterfinal. It was. You're right. It was a quarter. No, it was a semifinal. I think.
Was it?
But however you look at that, Ranch Cucamonga is another team I think that we've got to see how they come back. I think they lost their quarter. No, maybe not. I'm not sure. Who knows?
Who knows?
All right.
We don't cover that, so I don't go that
No.
far.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we were like, oh, I think they're.
I was impressed with them last year, though, man. They've got some Joes.
It's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the
Jimmys and Joes.
That's right. All right, when we come back, our one-on-one interview with Nate Meadors from UCLA training camp. He's running with the ones. He's starting at cornerback for UCLA. He's going to be the guy. He's a star. I mean, this kid's a star.
That's why I wore the shirt.
That's why you got your UCLA
best
colors.
secondary in the Pac-12, I would say.
Would you say that? All right, we'll talk UCLA football and hear from Nate Meadors when we come back on the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM.
We focus on the customer here. Believe it or not, that is the biggest thing for customers on an oil change. They just want the convenience of coming in, driving in, getting it done, and driving out. We just greet them, get them going, and they're done in about 10 minutes or so. We don't push any sales on them. We do the oil change, and I think that's what sets us apart is our customer service. Vacuumed and cleaned your windshield for you as well. Everything's looking pretty good. You come into us one time, believe me, we'll spoil you and you'll be ready to come back the next time.
That we offer here, the performance training is definitely specific to what they need. A lot of people actually come in here for the performance training, and also we have our travel ball program with our softball and baseball teams. Our performance training definitely to get quicker, stronger, faster.
50 a.m. We had a little Star Wars earlier. I always wonder, is that for Jeff or is that for me when Greg plays that?
I think it's for both of us. I have a gift for Zink, a Star Wars gift.
You do?
I brought a Star Wars gift.
He doesn't even like Star Wars.
But see,
what is it?
There's a story. It's a quick story. Years ago, Zink used to collect the Star Wars cards. And
I did.
Yeah, long story short, is his brother's girlfriend threw away all of his cards.
That's sad.
That jerk.
Expensive.
And so, in honor of that, I found a complete set of the Revenge of the Sith cards. And I'm going to give them to him at the conclusion of today's show.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
I brought that for and I brought him an apple fritter.
See that?
I miss things.
See that? You see how he treats me?
You're appreciated. Jeff appreciates you.
That's my Star Wars stuff.
You know what we're gonna do after that? We're gonna go out in the parking lot. I brought some lighter fluid. We're gonna throw them in the parking lot and set them all on fire. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Put them in your the spokes in your bike. Remember we used to do that?
Yeah.
Well, that was the cards you was talking about. It was a tub of cards, and it wasn't only Star Wars cards. There were baseball, basketball, football cards. There's probably 10,000 cards in there, and she gave them away to freaking Goodwill.
And where is she now?
Oh, probably in hell. Because I damned her to hell at that point.
Blasphemy getting rid of Star Wars stuff.
The den of iniquity, hanging out in hell.
I mean, the red, the yellow, the green, the blue, and what was the other one?
He's a closet thief.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
On the cards, man. I love them.
Yeah, they're fun.
Welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, Fox Sports Radio 1350 AM. Brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training, Ken's Sporting Goods, Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change, and Remax Advantage. Nobody sells more real estate. All right, we're checking out UCLA football camp. The great Nate Meadors out of San Gorgonio High School really burst onto the scene at the end of last year, got some starts. I remember he had a really coming out party. I think it was on the road at Utah is when he got his first start. He made all these crazy plays. So He's really entrenched himself in that starting lineup. I went to camp. He's running with the ones. He's going to be their guy at one of the corner positions. So we had a chance to go one-on-one with the great Nate Meadors out of San Gorgonio High School. So let's head out to UCLA training camp. We're here at UCLA training camp with the great Nate Meadors out of San Gorgonio High School, just down the road from here. And Nate, I saw you guys in the 11-on-11s, and quarterback Josh Rosen was staying away from your side of the field. That must be a good thing, right?
Yeah. Nah, it's kind of hard the way the DBs is playing right now. We're all playing pretty well, so it's hard for him to get the ball out. And I mean, it's hard for him to throw either way, though.
You probably have a lot of family and friends that probably pop in and out to see what you're doing here at UCLA. Is that pretty cool to have that support system that, you know, people here in San Bernardino and the Inland Empire are, you know, very excited for you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, you know, being able to come, have people come out here and see the experience of me playing. And actually, my dad's bringing, like, my brother's whole, like, football chapter out here Saturday. So it's going to be pretty cool to be able to show, be able to play in front of them, yeah.
Now, Nate, you really burst onto the scene towards the end of last season. What are your expectations this year? I saw you running with the ones. Are you expecting to be a starter out there at corner? I mean, what are some of the goals that you have maybe individually and also for the team?
Right now I'm running with the ones, but I mean the twos and the threes pretty much, we're all pretty experienced, so we're all going to get some reps. And I mean the goals for me, I feel like I'm going to have a great season. I feel good, I'm healthy. I'm way stronger, way faster than I was last year. And honestly, I mean, I feel like we're good enough to get into the national championship as an overall goal. So I feel like it's going to be a great year for me and the UCLA Bruins.
So right now, are you just focused on that season opener, I believe, against Texas A&M, right? I mean, is it all about the Aggies right now, or can you kind of still look at that big picture and say, you know what, we got to get off on the right foot, we got to have a strong start because we want to be Pac-12 champs, we want to be in, you know, the national title talk. I mean, do you guys kind of look at the big picture and also more immediate, you know, that first game of the season?
Yeah, I mean, in order as far as to get to where we want to go to the Pac-12 championships, we got to beat A&M and everybody else going towards that path. So we're focused on Texas A&M, but right now we're just trying to get better as a team, and probably next week we'll start focusing more on A&M and get ready for them.
You said bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, what are some of the other differences between Nate Meadors' freshman year and here at the sophomore season with the Bruins?
I'm playing way more comfortably. I know the plays, and I'm able to play with more instincts and all that. I'm not out there just running around like, oh, did I do it right? So I know what I'm doing now, and that's just making it much easier for me and allow me to play to my full ability.
All right, UCLA defensive back, cornerback Nate Meadors out of San Gorgonio High School. So that was Nate Meadors. You heard it here first. There's title talk at UCLA. I mean, national title. They were picked by the media to win the Pac-12 South Division. I think they're number 24 in the country in the preseason poll.
Now,
Nate Meadors is a national title. Are you buying NSYNC? You're the UCLA guy.
I got a UCLA shirt on right now. I'm wearing it in honor to. It's Fans Day, by the way, at Cal State San Bernardino.
It is.
UCLA is finishing up their week there, and it's Fan Appreciation Day out there. So I wanted to wear this in honor of UCLA coming out to the IE to do their workouts and whatever. But I'm going to tell you, I hear that stuff all the time. I don't want to hear it again, okay? Let's just play some football and see where we go. Because UCLA, was 95 about the last time that they were really like one of those guys? Yeah. Like 95? It's been like 21 years. So, I mean, you obviously have to have great expectations.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But shut up and play football, that's what I say.
Now my question is, does the Pac-12 make the championship bowl series? Whatever the final.
One of the four?
Yeah, do you think?
No, it's even harder to get into that than it was to get into the BCS rankings. I mean, it's even harder to get in through that.
They're still talking there might be two SEC teams.
Right, and it always is. So it's like, oh, well, they're so much better. Actually, ACC, you got Clemson going to be a good football team again this year. Got Alabama going to be a really good football team this year. Any one of the Big Ten, Ohio State,
Michigan,
and or
Michigan,
State, maybe even Michigan State, you know. And so there's a lot of competition out there.
Pretty open out there.
I mean, UCLA just has to worry about winning the South, and then we'll go from there. How about that?
We'll have more on UCLA on Sports Weekly on Tuesday on IEMG TV. Talk to some of the IE guys. As you said, I mean, expectations are high, as they should be. You don't want to be going into the season like, oh man, I hope we win a couple games. I mean, who wants that talk, right? So
it's nice to be able to talk about it, but it's time to play football.
So I was at the University of Redlands football camp, and Mike Maynard, their longtime head coach, I think he's going on 29 years as the head coach. He pointed out that we were just kind of shooting the breeze. Really cool guy. I'm really getting to know him a little bit better. And he was saying, UCLA comes out here and they make this huge deal about, we're isolated and it's really hot and this and that. And he's like, we do that every single day. He's like, I've been doing that 29 years. It's really hot. We're the only ones on campus right now. Like, that's what they do.
Exactly.
And they make it a big deal for UCLA when they come out here. So he's like, that's what we do at the U of R.
And then those soft LA Rams go to Irvine, right on the coast, nice, friendly, and they talk about it being hot. Please.
I just like how they call the Inland Empire a desert. When people, I get really mad when people
Since
say,
when?
my in-laws moved out from Florida, and they're like, oh, you live in the desert. I say, come on, they live in San Diego, Carlsbad. I'm like, come on, we're 35 minutes away from you, and you're calling us the desert. I hate it.
They really generalize things too. There are some oases here in the desert.
Yes. But yeah, I wouldn't label us the hottest place. It's warm.
I mean, come on, Muscoy might be part of the desert.
Mentone Beach.
Home of the abandoned dogs.
No. Muscoy, we're really ripping on Muscoy, but I would say Muscoy is like the Old West. You don't want to walk through there.
Nope.
You don't want. You better carry your.
When I first went to Cal State San Bernardino, they do tell you about Muscoy. Now on the other side of the freeway,
it's Muscoy.
This is kind of on the same subject. I remember growing up in Northern California when someone would say, let's say, like, oh, I'm from Riverside or Redlands. It'd be like, oh, that's right by LA, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
It's all one big thing, So I think that's when the media talks about, oh, they're in the desert.
Yeah.
Like, well, not really.
And speaking of which, I went on this trek, this journey for life.
A sojourn?
A walkabout.
A sojourn, a walkabout. Thank you. And you know what? I went through Pep Fernandez's backyard.
Yeah.
You did?
Oh.
God, that's God's country up there.
By the way, when they do the sign of the cross, they say Father, Son, Holy Pep.
Holy Pep.
They love him up there.
You went through both, I think. You went through Humboldt County.
Yep.
And then you went through like the Reading area, didn't you?
Yeah. And it's funny because there were guys slacklining over the freeway in Humboldt County. I didn't understand that one. With hacky sack and slacklining, it was great.
Was there a life-size statue in the town square with 16 inches tall?
Yeah. Father Pep. It was great, but it was great to go through. In fact, he was excited because I went through, and by the way, I visited the first city that he was a broadcaster in, Eureka.
In fact, he was right around the corner from the station.
It's a dive.
We stopped in Eureka 2 years ago. There was this place called Ocean World, I think it was, or something. It was like a poor man's SeaWorld. Yeah, they had a sea lion, a couple of sharks with missing teeth, and it was in Eureka.
Well, I have to tell you, my wife was really unimpressed with Eureka, but I was telling Pep this. There's this hotel. No, wait a minute. There was a hotel called the Eureka Inn, and it was built in like the 1930s. And
you got 3 minutes, by the way.
Majestic, just a majestic hotel in the middle of a dump.
You got 3 minutes.
Listen, Eureka was a special part of my life.
And you had to run for your life in Eureka. He's doing stand-ups, and some guy's chasing him.
I'm trying to think, did I have any weird experience?
I'm sure you. Come on, Northern California generally is a weird experience.
Yeah.
Wow, I just dissed all of Northern California.
Man.
I will say, Oregon, just a lot of grass, goats,
a lot of trees,
cows, and horses.
Big trees.
That's all it is.
Hey, can I call an audible real quick so we're running out of time? Hey, Cameron, can you get in here real quick?
Oh, it's Cameron's last day.
It is.
Yeah.
What's up? Cam, this is your last day with us. You're going back to Holy Names.
Yeah.
We're all devastated, but what did you learn from this internship? What are you going to go back to school and tell all your friends about?
Well, Bill Walton, I can't forget about him. That interview and meeting him and the kind of person that he was
Wait, but
crazy.
hold on. Aren't you BFFs with Jim Mora, the head football coach
That
at
is
UCLA?
true,
Look at that.
That is true, but...
So when do we get when are you slapping some dollars on our hand? Look at all these people he gets to meet. Freshmen in college.
You went to Pac-12 Media Day, too, remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
No, but seriously, when you go back to school, what are you going to talk about your internship?
I'll just talk about how much of a good experience it was. I liked, meeting a bunch of people and going to Pac-12 Media Day. That's probably my highlight of it, and seeing all these great athletes. And Christian McCaffrey was there, and Moore was there, David Shaw.
Did you feel like you learned anything in here?
I learned a lot.
It's kind of like a train wreck in here, so I apologize for that.
Just watching like you guys do, just like you said, like the hot dog and the sausage.
You don't want to see how it's made, but it's good.
Looks good when it's made.
The product is good, so
Yeah, just to see, you know, how everything gets put together, I just thought it was a really good experience.
Well, Cam, we loved having you. We're running out of time, but best of luck, brother, at Holy Names and the baseball team up there.
Thank you for everything.
All right, we're brought to you by Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona. AdrenalineAthletic.com is the website. RE/MAX Advantage. Nobody sells more real estate. 909-307-5665 is the phone number for RE/MAX. Spoiled, quick, quality oil change right here in Riverside. Get your flour and your mint and your oil changed. And, of course, Ken Sporting Goods celebrating. On Fox Sports Radio, 1350 AM.
Gorm, I tear that out. I want that.